after that end, I think it's not too far, or not. It's still pretty close, I think.
Yeah, white
Yeah.
was doing good, and then yeah, it reversed. You can see from the computer's point of view,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is a similar story to the last game you guys
Review
had, right?
started.
Yeah.
I can tell
I mean,
you,
I just, man. Okay. Yeah.
I can tell you the point that I thought you were starting to lose, Marty, was this decision here. Because
Yeah. You know, Michael,
mhm.
I just thought I'd have some fun.
Q, what would I say about this situation right now? I think you could teach this
Running
class.
battle.
Yeah, right. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
once you abandon the running battle, see, like if White just plays one more move, right? Look at how much territory White is getting. Black
Yeah.
is also
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
territory, but White
Yeah.
is gaining just as much, if not more. And so I think that this would be the right decision. But once you played here, Q now is very sharp, right? He's looking for these like running battle
Yeah.
mistakes,
Yeah.
and as soon
Yeah.
as there was a running battle mistake, he instantly knew what to do. Which now
Yeah.
this area becomes poop, right? Like if
Yeah.
you have to fold in on yourself, this looks nowhere near what it looked like just with that one move difference. So this was the point of the game where I thought you had a good lead, and you were doing very well, Marty, and then you chose this move, and it changed the whole course of the game, in my opinion. So we can go from the beginning, but yeah, this was really big. So let's see. Everything's fine here. Nice, good and classic. Marty, so normally I wouldn't choose this move when you don't
Yeah.
have stones here. Like yes, you have a
Okay.
stone here, but it's very very far away, right? So
Okay.
what does this move do? Do you know? Like how would you explain this move?
Part of a wall. I don't know.
Yeah, it's building a bigger wall, right? So it's
Yeah.
building you more influence that's gonna develop this side. But
Yeah.
when it's so far away, this is hard to use, because black will usually play a move here now to break up this area, right? Black can make
Yeah.
a two space base on both sides, and so this wall is gonna look really stupid if you can't use it. That makes
Right.
sense.
Right.
Yeah, and so this move, I almost, it's very rare when I recommend it. Even if white was here, I still wouldn't recommend this move right now.
So just Tanuki?
Nah, you can Tanuki. You can also play here if you want
Ah,
to
okay.
strengthen
All
this
right.
area. But you can
Okay.
also Tanuki as well. So yeah, you can play something else. You play something here, here.
Okay.
Really anything, right? You can play any of these moves. But
Okay.
yeah, so I would avoid this one. Same with,
Okay.
I think at one point Terry was using this one a lot. But all
Yeah.
this does is just put you in that same position, but guaranteed.
Yeah.
Whereas this one gives you the options to play here or Tanuki, right?
Right.
But this one gives you no options. It just immediately forces you to play this.
Right.
So yeah, for this Joseki, so, you see this Joseki every day, right? I would advise against this one unless, let's say, you already had a stone like this. Then yeah, I
Yeah.
would definitely not care about this stone and like build this up.
Okay.
But in this case, you don't have that yet, so very minor.
So is R18 worth playing there then? For
Alright.
white.
Right now, no. Like playing
Okay.
here now, I wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
Because what this decision makes is this decision is for this, right? It's building a wall to develop this area. So
Yeah.
to make this decision and then come back seems really slow. It would be much more valuable if white chose to play something like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So let's see. So this was all good. Everything, both players are playing well here. It's fine. This is good. Good. This is fine. Same with black. So black chose this move, but once again, white is kind of here. Maybe if you plan to play this next, then this would be a good combination between the two. But when you played here, now this is slow, right? This is what you. That's why you asked it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this move is a little slow.
Okay.
Because now, what if white was to just play this or something, right? Or yeah, I mean, pretty much this is really nice move. Even if he pushes, and then we go into this whole thing, right? And white comes out. White can kind of make this wall look a little silly, as long as white plays any move, to make sure that you can't develop this side. So if you were gonna choose this move, remember that you need to then kind of build this area up, because that's what this move is. It's building this area up. So playing something like this, would be nice for black. Or this would be nice for black too, right? You can see that you're building the area. But white did a great job, so a very good job, Marty, of seeing that he was building influence and you trying to break it up. Was that your plan, Marty?
Yes, it was like a shoulder hit and all at the same time. Perfect.
Yeah. It does look a little weird, but it's still the idea and plan of it is, perfect, right? This is the ideology you need, where if he's trying to build something, then you should break it apart, right? So the ideology is there. Other ways you could have gone about it, like I said, is this. It's just less weakness, right? See, if he tries to cut you, you're fine. The other way too is shoulder hits here are also very effective, because usually they only have about 2 options, maybe a third if they try something like this or this, but I mean, you're still fine. So this is another way to go about it, and another weakness to this B to A combo, right? Where, like, if you're playing B, then yeah, I've already explained it enough. So white did a great job here. This looks like slow timing, but it's okay if you combined it with this move, because now there's many weaknesses. So what happened here? So normally white plays this first, Marty.
Okay.
It looks funny, but the idea is that if you play here now, he can just kill you in one move, right?
Yeah.
But
well, that's why I added it.
Yeah, after. Yep. Yeah. But if you play here, now it takes 2 moves to kill you, right?
Yep.
And so now this becomes really good for Ko, or just in general Sente, right? Because you got an extremely thick wall, and you get the next move, which then this would be a good move, right? Because now you're looking at this.
Yeah.
This also is very, very good. But yeah, so I know that, you played it after. But funny enough, the after felt unnecessary now, because if you just played this, you would have to play here. And then you wouldn't have to give up another stone.
True.
So
True.
No, for you, playing this would have been better. Even if he plays this, now you can just ignore it and then play somewhere else, right? You can, I don't know where you'd want to play, but maybe even on top here to try and make this like silly, right? Trying to break up this area. Or maybe an invasion at some point here or here, or whatever. You could do whatever you want. That's the point as black. But once you played this, it's very heavy, and so now white can force you, and so it's bad. So originally Marty should play this, which then forces you to play this way, and then you're in a bad situation for black because white got Sente, can make lots of points. And then for white, or for black perspective, once white messes up, now you should just take. Because you don't care if you lose this stone, because you can just do something better.
Yeah, okay.
All right. So a lot of little exchanges here that are so subtle. It's kind of funny how subtle these exchanges are. But anyway, this is okay. Looks a little slow, but it's okay. By slow, I mean it's just not a lot of points, right? Like this is about 4 points. Your move here,
Mm-hmm.
where you could be making moves that are like breaking up like 30 points, right? You could be
Mm-hmm.
playing something like this or coming down, which guarantees you points and opens a weakness here. Um, so a little slow, but not terrible. Nothing's bad so far. I think this was. I don't know, Marty. I think you could have rode this out. Because if you end up taking Sente, now he built this big wall, but you can make this big wall look stupid, right? By playing something like this.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you could have made more points and then ruined his wall because he's gonna have to answer every time you play something. Because if he doesn't,
Right.
let's say if he plays, somewhere else, well now you're out, and this stinks for black.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
black should answer and answer and answer, and then white can then make it look dumb.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that would have been better.
So leaving, not getting hit on the head of 3 stones, very common rule, right? Something we can all take away from this. Even if you just played here and then Tanuki'd, it would have been better, right? Because in
Right.
the game, once he hit your 3 stones, now he can play this and
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
gets Sente out of it, right? And so now
Yeah.
he's looking good
Yeah.
because he's able to build this area. He made a wall and now he can use it.
Yeah.
So it's a very good example of not getting hit on the head of 3 stones. Let's see. I think you're strong enough where you could Tanuki, but maybe the shape feels a little awkward, so I don't blame
Yeah,
you.
I was thinking about that move a lot actually for a while.
This was definitely good though, because you're very strong, so you don't have to worry about getting cut, right? So this was good.
Mm-hmm.
This was not good, Marty, because black can now just once again ruin you in the running race, right?
Yeah.
And even though you gain a little bit here, but it's just a little bit, right? This is so much more damaging than this, right? This is very small.
I I thought if I did it, I might be able to cut. That really was why.
This here, yeah. I think black's just too strong. Like even if you do
Right.
all the cuts, right? Like I think black is okay because he has all the strength here.
I see.
For you, Marty, running battles, just like it was Q's weakness a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Now it seems
Yeah.
you're having some trouble with it. So remember always to move ahead of your opponent, not backwards,
Yeah.
right? So this was big, and for Q needed to take advantage of that. So since you didn't, then it was okay for Marty. See, okay, so both of you made some
Mm-hmm.
mistakes here.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is devastating. When you missed this, Marty, this is the game changer. Because right now you had actually a pretty big lead, I think, against Black.
Yeah.
Black has a little corner, a little corner. This is very small. This is way too many stones for like this small area, right? So it's over concentrated. And
Yeah.
even though it's an open fan, right? Like Black's opening up and you're closing in. Your closing in is still really big in comparison to his. So, this was the game-changing moment here, I think.
Yeah.
And
I just thought I was going to have some fun.
Alright. I mean, if you had a good time, you're always a winner, right? Like there's a.
Because I thought, well, now look how big it is on the other side.
What, this one? Oh
Yeah.
yeah, okay, all right, fair enough. Still for me, I would.
No, I get it.
Yeah,
I really do.
okay, yeah. So, Hugh, this was a little slack. So something that I remember Marty was struggling with was the spacing as well. So normally we use shoulder hits, attachments, one jump caps, knights move shoulder hits. These are your tools, right? And
Yeah.
what I would use in this case is the one space cap because you're just getting more, right? And so
Yeah.
it's gonna be hard for white to do too much to break this up. But when with a two space, it doesn't put any pressure on white, right? Remember we talked about soft moves, and so now white gets to do whatever white wants. But with this cap, if white does whatever white wants after, let's say, it's over, you can now use this to your advantage, right? You can attach or attach, and
Yeah.
just gain more points.
I think I was playing a little safer because I was worried about L4.
Yeah,
In the
yeah.
second
So
game a
this
little
right
bit.
here.
Yeah.
But you're
Yeah.
you're so strong that you should have no fear, right? You have so many
Yeah.
liberties and friends. Same with this, so many liberties and friends. You should never
Mhm.
fear this one actually. But
Okay.
still, it's okay. But like I said, I wanted to teach you about the tools, right? And our tools
Yeah.
are shoulder hits, knight shoulder hits, detachments, caps. But this isn't actually a tool, not the one that I see often anyway. This double space jump.
Okay.
Marty, you did a great job pushing on this. And then what you needed to do, I think, is now come back here, Marty, and use your own tool.
Uh,
Because
yep,
you
yep.
can see that if you force black to do this, you're
Yeah,
gaining so much.
yeah. Well, then, yeah, the move that Q made, this was the next one was a very good move.
Yeah, this one was really good because you can see Q that white was building a huge wall, right? Which is then
Yeah.
building where he wants to develop here, and then you immediately broke it. So for you, Marty, this is already kind of sealed in, and so you
Yep.
didn't need this move. So this is very
Yeah, yeah,
unnecessary.
yeah,
So playing
yeah,
something like here would have been much more efficient.
yeah, yeah.
So Q, excellent job. This was excellent judgment in breaking this area up, and it's the cap, right? Just what we talked about, the cap, one space
Yeah.
jump.
Fix my mistake before I even heard it.
Right, always, always. Um, this was a mistake, I think, for you, Q. So Marty, good job doing the infamous shape, right? The two spaces with the Hane.
Yep.
So for Q, I think you should just be happy with this because this is very solid.
Mhm.
It has no weaknesses, and you already did a good job of breaking this area up. This is asking for a little too much, I think, and now white gets a lot of advantage, right? You can see that white got a kill and then got quite a lot of points for killing this, right?
Yeah, I guess I just thought I really wanted to go break up the area up there, and I
Yeah,
was really willing to sacrifice that stone for it.
I get where you're coming from, but I think by sacrificing this stone, you've given white quite a bit.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
if we look here, you've taken away a lot from white, and even if white gets
Mhm.
this, you get the Sente moves next, right? So let's say
Yeah.
it goes like this, and he has to fix. Well, now you get to play something like here, or here, or
Mhm.
here, or here, right? And so white
Yeah.
did gain something, but lost a lot too. And you have a lot of
Mhm.
safety, which is also gaining you something, right? And so it's a
Yeah.
double-edged sword by playing this, by protecting your weakness here.
Mhm.
Um, because now you didn't really gain much, right, compared to the other one, and like white gained actually quite a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
Some of the most of these shape points and things were fine, Marty. It was
Something was wrong, Michael.
Yeah, it was around here that the mistakes started to fly, and
Yeah,
because right now you do have a lot of weaknesses, but
right, right,
you're
right,
still
right.
okay. One thing I would have done maybe was this and this, and now even whatever he tries to do, right? You're fine. You'd be able to kill him here.
Yes, yes.
If he plays this way, maybe he will get a double Atari, but you still are coming out on top, I think.
Yeah. I should have
It,
given those stones up anyway.
it is kind of a hard thing to find. Maybe even if you just played simply like this, it should have been
Yeah.
okay. But this is kind of showing you the power of hitting the head of two stones, hitting the head of two stones, right? And so this is the power of why we explain to you that it's bad to get hit on the head of two stones, because it leaves so
Yep.
many weaknesses. Um, for you, this was interesting decision. I think it was very interesting. I liked it. For now, you just had to play here, and that was it. And you were fine. And I was very
Yeah.
shocked you didn't take the Atari. You played here, and then Atari, which came out good. But once again, I would have played this now. And even if you lose this stone down here, well, I don't think you would. So because if he chose this, then he loses two stones,
Right.
right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
so you would have
Ugh.
had your cake and eat it too.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and even
Now
now, he
it's fun.
still gave you the opportunity to play here, and you would have
Yes.
been fine.
Yep.
But you played this, and then this was too good for black,
Yeah. Yeah.
and now you're in lots of trouble, right? And so
Yeah.
now it's, now it's
Yeah.
pain.
Mistakes were made.
Right, right. So it was just, I was very surprised you didn't take this very palpable Atari, right? Like, because when you do, he's put into an empty triangle, right?
Yep.
And then
Yep.
you're all protected. So
Yeah.
I'm very very surprised. But anyway, this was the moral. You lost in morale more than in action, right?
Yeah.
So the game was over at this point. Of course, you could have kept playing, but Black did reverse the game. Black was now in the lead because of this.
Yeah.
For you, Q, I mean, what can I say? I don't know. There wasn't. Let me see.
I feel like my opening, I just kind of just play without thinking too much about direction and stuff, and I seem to
Yeah,
fall behind a lot.
yeah, yeah. And then Marty's pretty good at his opening. Most of his games, even when I was reviewing today, right? He didn't make any mistakes until like 30 moves in, usually, Marty.
Right.
So let's see. This was, to me, was a major mistake. The A here, like this was a minor
Mm,
mistake that I educate you and make you familiar with, but this is a major mistake in my opinion. Just because you've
mm.
already built a strong wall, so your focus should be on developing what you can with that wall now. Does that make sense, Q?
Yeah, this is like a waste of a move.
Yeah, just be okay with sacrificing this corner, because you'll end up
Yeah,
taking Sente, and then you can just make a bigger outside, right? You can make a huger middle.
yeah.
Um, so if you're choosing this move, then you don't want to come back for this move. Um, this was minor, very very minor stuff. Like, but it's good to know, of course. So for Marty, when he Ataris, you should extend, and then he'll have to kill you and Gote, which is great for you. And for Q, if they make a mistake and don't extend down, then you just take. And even if he plays here, you can just leave it and play where you want. So now you get Sente. And later
Yep.
on, this becomes an end game move, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Marty, don't get hit on the head of three stones. This is a very collapsible shape, right? Like if he hits you here, then it becomes you have to fall in on yourself and Gote.
Yep.
So instead, you could have played it through and then taken Sente, right? Which would be good for you. Same. This is a major problem, Marty. So this is something you need to stay aware of, right? Which is the running battles. Whoever gets in front is going to be the winner, right? If Black plays away now, then this is a huge win for White. You can see this, right?
Right.
Like magnificent win. So that's why these are so important. These running battles. So you have to stay ahead of your opponent, and even when you're behind, you have to find a point where you're okay to Tanuki. So like if you just played one more time and you Tanuki'd here and you got turned in like this is okay, I guess. I still wouldn't like it, but it's better, right? But when you leave it like this, and then he gets this very strong, powerful move here, it feels like it turns this whole area to Dookie.
Yeah.
Right? And that's just a shame. We don't like Dookie. So this was like the biggest point of the game for you, Marty. For you, Q, I don't know if you had like so major of a mistake that you lost the game. I think, like you said, you just fell behind in the opening, and then you were fortunate enough to turn it around. Like finding a move like this to break up this area was good. Giving up this weakness was bad, right? Because now White tended to get a lot more than what he should have. But then you clutched it, so it worked out in your favor. But that's just because you left this open. So I figured this is how it would have gone, right? But instead you played here, which gave Marty a golden opportunity to fix all his problems. And then that didn't happen, and so he crumbled, and then it was game over. So well, I hope you guys enjoy the double review, the recap of it.
I do. Hey, thanks for playing.
Yeah, thanks for the game as well.
Yeah, and I think another fun game, another good week. I always like watching you guys face off against each other because it's always it's like a murder novel, right? There's always a twist and turn, and you never know what's gonna happen, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna end the recording here.